Even when I won the Olympic silver in 2016, I think my life has changed. But even then, I was like, I had to do a lot more. And I feel this is only the starting. After so many years, also, you need to have that fire within you that you have a lot more to go. There are times where you cry and you be like, why is this happening to me? There are days like you can't push yourself. There are days where nothing is going right. There are days where you're really upset, depressed. You're like, everything is over. What else should I do? So there will be days, but you have to overcome all of them. So when you win, everybody is like, wow. But when you lose at times, people take you there. Sometimes, when you win, you're like there on cloud nine. When you lose, you're like there. So to have that middle ground, you rather not think about what people are saying. You just go with the flow. You just think what you have to do.
Hello and welcome to Stree at the Table. When we talk about champions, we often think of their medals, their victories, their moments of glory. But behind every triumph is a story of resilience, sacrifice, and unshakable determination. Our guest today embodies all of that and more. She's made history not once, but multiple times, becoming India's first woman to win 2 Olympic medals in badminton. She's a role model, an inspiration, and a fierce competitor on the court. But beyond that, she is also a powerful advocate for women in sports and a true symbol of perseverance. Join us as we sit down with the one and only PV Sindhu to talk about her journey, the challenges she has overcome, and what it truly takes to be a champion. Welcome, Sindhu. We are so excited, all of us here in this room.
Thank you so much.
And I know you've been training all morning and you will be training even after this, but so it's very precious that you could take out this time for us.
Thank you. Yes. Thanks a lot.
and I really want to tell you, I remember we met about 9 years ago. It was just before Rio Olympics.
Yes.
And I remember you as a very young person, and I was doing a mental math and saying she's at least 18 years younger than I am. And she's standing there and this whole mob is, saying things like, you are going to get the gold and you're going to make us proud. And I was really trying to look at you all composed just like this, smiling and graciously taking it and then, moving on from there. And a part of me was almost really feeling like a parent saying, oh my God, how is she dealing with this? How do you deal with this? Would it really be the first question?
I think, 2016 was basically, that was my first Olympics. Okay. And obviously I had no pressure. To be very fair, it was like, I have to give my best. That is it. And the only thing was, 6 months before the Rio, of course, I was recovering from an injury. In 2015, I had a stress fracture.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was like, will I go to the Olympics or what is happening? How did this happen? Because it was pretty bad. I had to stay out of badminton for 6 months, and then 6 months again I had to do the standing and then come back to the sport. So back then I was a bit thinking to myself that can I do it or will I do it? But apart from that, I had no pressure because it was my first Olympics and I didn't know how it would be.
Yeah.
So I think in a way I got lucky.
No.
But on a serious note, it was amazing experience to say that, but also a proud moment. And I think for me, my life has changed after getting that, silver at Rio, because it was not an easy draw, point number one. And I think every match was tough. And, of course, Olympics is where you just give your heart out. You just give your 100% no matter what. And, when you stand on the podium, with that medal, it comes once in 4 years. Not everyone can experience that. And going into the Olympics itself is a big thing. But, grabbing that medal and standing on the podium is definitely a big thing for everyone, including me.
Absolutely.
So, frankly, I had no pressure. It was just for me, one match at a time. And of course, I never thought about the medal. I was just thinking just one round at a time, and then it just went on. Yeah.
That's such an important thing you've said. But if I go back and set even the context to the question, see, one is that many people are grappling with what they want to do with their lives, all their lives. Okay, you are one of those who identified what you want to do, and then the investment in that craft is humongous, right? All of your life, you've been finessing this craft that you have chosen for yourself.
Yeah.
And then it is so public. The assessment is public, the applause is public, and the criticism is public. So how does one in that moment, ignore all the noise and then just focus on the thing at hand?
So see, when I took something as my passion, obviously I will want to fulfill that and I want to give my 100%. It's not that, when I won one match and I listened to people applauding me, supporting me, and they're like, yeah, you've done everything. So, even when I won the Olympic silver in 2016, I think my life has changed. But even then I was like, I had to do a lot more. And I feel this is only the starting. If you think that, okay, I've done everything, it's enough for me, then that doesn't work out, right?
Yeah.
And I think automatically you just get low. You're like, you just take it easy and you're like, fine, okay, I won it. What else I need? But after so many years, also you need to have that fire within you that you have a lot more to go. So that's what kept me going.
Yeah.
And even after I won the 2016, I think that's when I've decided that, yes, I can do much better.
Yeah.
Because automatically when you start winning, you keep getting that josh. You keep thinking for yourself that, come on, man, I can do a lot more better.
Yeah.
And I think from there, I've never looked back.
Yes, you haven't. And it's a pleasure to watch you in every match because that fighter spirit is looking even more prominent. And as we're through it, there's a reason, and I will explain why I'm kind of delving in that. But as you go on and this journey of winning is there, then there are, of course, setbacks because that is the beauty of life. There is no fun in winning if there are no setbacks.
Yes.
But in that moment, when there are setbacks, what is the hack? Like, how does one next morning get up and say, okay, it's another day, it's another match?
When you lose a match or when you get really upset or, there are two ways to it. Like, for example, when I played the Rio, when I lost the finals, I was upset.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I should have, I could have won that. 3 games, I lost 21-15. But, a lot of people were like, encouraged me saying that, you didn't lose gold, but you won silver. So that is one way of encouraging and supporting you.
Yes.
Another way is, you yourself, after losing an easy match where you had to win, or you're leading and you just let go the match and you're really upset. At that point of time, I just think to myself that, it's not just end of the world. As you said, when you lose, you learn a lot more from your mistakes. When you keep winning, there's nothing to learn actually. You keep winning, you're happy, everything is fine, everything is going normal, your day is super happy, you're a happy soul. But I think when you lose, that's when you learn a lot more, and that's when you don't want to make that mistake again and again. Because every player has a different mindset.
Yeah.
Every time you play against them, it's a different style of play.
Yes.
Obviously they are also smart enough to see your matches and learn and strategize accordingly. And we are also accordingly, we'll have to make plan A, plan B. If plan A doesn't work, you go with the plan B.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, one can win and one should lose.
Yes.
So I think you learn a lot more. But I think sometimes even when you lose, it is important that you know that you've given your 100%.
Yeah.
That's very important.
Is there any moments that you can share with us which really turned around because of your mind more than your body?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot, in fact. There are a lot. Starting with the Rio itself. I was playing my first round with Lee Michel. So it was like, first we had like a league match. So I had to win that. If I lose, I'm out of the tournament.
Yeah.
So my first match was with Lee Michel, and I lost the first game. I won the second, and third set I was down 17-14. And I just believed in myself. That is all I did. And I won 21-17. I don't know how it happened, but it happened.
I saw that one. I remember that one. It was a stunner of a match.
Yeah, I think, in a match, there are situations like this. The day you turn it around, then nobody is going to
stop you.
Then
you can turn it around.
Yes, exactly. Then nobody's going to stop you. And you get so strong, your mind gets so strong that I will do whatever it takes, to win that match.
Yes.
Like, for example, like in the World Championships in 2018, I was down. I won the first game against Yamaguchi and I was down 19-10. And I won 24-22. I mean, everyone thought, in fact, not just me. I thought, it will go to 3 games. But, it just
Yeah, and you're also facing really tough minds.
Yeah,
also.
exactly. Because all our top
everybody
players.
down there, at that moment, everybody's worked hard, and
Yes.
and it's a battle of the mind and body. And all
Yeah,
of
it's
that.
just matter of, how you think at that moment, at that second. What do you
Yeah.
change? Sometimes, you keep losing points and you go blank. You don't know what to do.
Yeah,
And the opponent is much more confident that, okay, she's not able to turn it around.
yes.
So that's when you take a chance and then you just go
Yeah.
with the flow.
You saying this becomes so important. See, in many ways, you've been one of the very important people who've redefined this game for this country. A lot more women wanting to play badminton, thinking that Olympics is achievable. You've been one of those very few people in a country where infrastructure also for this was very limited. And why knowing how you do it and how you even stand up to all this pressure is important is because we see in a parallel world, women struggling to access any point, whether it's a career in office or wanting to run businesses, that once they enter, the entire world starts saying, at least you got what you wanted.
Yeah.
And instead of saying there is much more to do, it becomes a game of at least you're getting to do this. Now focus on the 5 other things. And when you're talking about focus and giving it a shot, you're actually giving a very important hack on how to stay on course, because it's very easy, then it becomes very noisy.
Yeah, I think firstly, mindset is very important. I mean, people might say 1,000 things, but at the end of the day, you should know what you want. If your passion is badminton and if you want to settle with that one particular goal, then it's fine. But if you want to do much more, then you have to have a bigger goal and bigger aims in life. Like for me, obviously, people might say that you won everything. What else you need? But for me, I have a lot more in me. I can do it. I mean, why should I stop when someone says, or why should I stop after achieving so much?
It doesn't frustrate you when they say abhi ho gaya na and all that?
I think, even they, like for them, it's like, even they, if they say it in a funny way, I'm like, no, I mean, there's a lot more. It's not frustrating, but I want them to know that I have it in me. I can do it. So I think especially mindset is very important. And I think that parents' push is very important for the children.
Yes.
Because if the parents take it lightly, thinking that, okay, he had won enough for him, or if she's won enough for him, then it doesn't work. I think that way I'm very lucky, because both my parents were volleyball players, sports family, sports background. So they kept pushing me, beyond the limits that, yes, you can do it. You have the potential. And I think, as you mentioned, infrastructure initially might not be so good. But I think now if you see, infrastructure is amazing. Everywhere you have an academy.
Exactly.
Like Bangalore, Hyderabad, Guwahati, you have amazing infrastructure. I've been there, I've played. So I know how the facilities are. I've come from that level where there was not much of it. So now I know what it is and what it takes to become a champion. See, when there was no infrastructure also, there were coaches, there were physios, parents to push you, saying that, okay, do this, if not this, then do that. There are many ways to do it if you want to do it. But if you want to just be like, okay, you want to find another solution, then it doesn't work. You yourself are not being very loyal. Right?
Absolutely.
So it should come from your heart. When you want to do it, you want to do it. If you be like, okay, maybe not, maybe that doesn't work, then you're finding
so you have to have your tribe. Your tribe, your parents, your coaches, your people who are completely on your side.
Yes.
On your worst day.
Yeah, people who you trust. And I know there are days where you're really tired, you just can't go further. I mean, it is okay to take a break. It is okay to take rest. Not that I'm saying that take a break for a year or so. There will be a time for everyone. Sometimes you're mentally tired. Sometimes you're physically tired. It's okay to just go, just get a time off, 2-3 days, then come back fresh. Then you're much more fresh. Like you will focus 100%.
Yeah.
That's very important.
My God, you're like, your thoughts are preluding mine. Like this is so important again, that what you've said, that there is also a period of rest that comes after this acceleration of all the effort, and at that rest. Now, how does one get wise to that? Because people who start accelerating also think that if they don't do this one thing, everything will be gone. This one cheat day is not good. This, few moments of rest are not good. But rest, as we know now, rest is almost as important as the effort.
Well, initially, even I used to think the same, but I've become wise. I know, I see what people say. I listen to what people say. There are also players who think that, if I take one day rest, maybe I can't again, I can't pick that, this thing up, or I can't be my 100%. Maybe it'll take some time for me. I'll miss out something. So there are a lot of doubts in their head. But I feel that, taking a break, sometimes you're mentally tired. So many of them don't understand that. When you're physically tired, okay, in a week you get one day off, it's fine. But when you're mentally tired, your brain doesn't work. Trust me. Like, it has happened with me personally. Like, I feel that I can do it, but it just doesn't work. You just keep playing. You don't think. Any sport is thinking. You need to think how to do it, what to do it, when to do it. Within those seconds, you need to keep changing. So for that, you need to be fresh from here. So that's why I say that rest is also equally important, because see, if you don't rest, your body is like a temple, right? You need to do what you have to do. You have to take care of it. If you don't take care of it and you keep doing it, then it's going to break one day. And rather than taking that 1-2 days of break, maybe it will be like a couple of months of break. Maybe you can't recover. So that's why it is important when and how to take a break, because your body signals you sometimes like, okay, it's enough, I'm not able to do it. But when you have to push, you have to push. So the gap between taking break and pushing yourself, you need to understand that and be wise enough to.
You have to be tuned to your mind and your body.
Because some people might say, okay, I'm having a pain here, maybe it's an injury, I need to take a rest. But it is part of the process. When you're training, you have these pains. As people say, no pain, no gain. So it's the same. You have pains, but it is important to recover yourself and come back again the next day. So they need to understand the difference between, when to take rest and when to just push yourself.
There are the role of your tribe, your parents, your coach, your doctors, mentors, all of that is very pivotal to keeping your mind also healthy as much as your body is. What happens when what you as a gut instinct believe works in conflict with what even your chosen ones are telling you? Like, how does that? Definitely happens. There are times when what you're thinking may not be aligned to what people around you are saying, and maybe they are right and maybe you're right, and you never know, right? Because in retrospect, everything is very clear.
See, they have their opinions and you have your opinions. There are discussions at times. There are times where, I don't agree to certain things, or they don't agree. They feel that, we are experienced enough to tell you, because we know we've come from that level. But now it has changed. Game has changed a bit. So there are arguments as such where, I don't agree to a few things, but we have a discussion. We have an healthy discussion. Okay, why is this happening? What needs to be done? So that way, obviously, when it comes to my coach, when it comes to my trainer, physio, or, even my parents, even they keep telling me, but there are certain times, certain things where I don't agree. At that point of time, I give it a try. I give it a try what they say. And if it doesn't work, I just go with my thing. But I think trying out stuff is very important, because you never know. People watching from outside might observe something else. That's when I said, in the beginning, that everyone's mindset is different. Every individual is different. I might think in a certain way. You might think in a certain way. So that's when it is important to try it out. If it works, it's brilliant. I mean, it's good.
That's a very accepting and generous approach to the voice. And what's remarkable is, so you have the trusted ones who will talk to you, but you have the world at large who tells you what to eat, what to drink, what to wear, how to play. And there's this 100 opinions on how you should have stood or sat down, or how much water you should be drinking. Everything. And it's always baffled me how someone like you goes through the process of knowing who to listen to and who to not, and when to listen to oneself and when to not. Because I cannot imagine a more high pressure, time sensitive response that one has to things. And so in that way, sports are a strange equalizer in life, right? Whatever you figure in life, it's happening in like microseconds. It's like summarized, an entire life summarized into certain moments where action and reaction kind of works out. And And you have to be that discerning, that that careful about what you are taking and what you're giving and what you want to shut out to.
Yeah.
And how does one become wise to this? Like, how did you grow into this?
So
this
basically,
person?
see, it's not that obviously I keep listening to people, I accept what they say, I keep trying out. See, there are times where when you go wrong. There are times. I won't say that I was right all the time. I was wrong also.
Yeah.
But that's when I've become wise by learning that, okay, this is what happened. Maybe next time I shouldn't do that. I should do something else. If that doesn't work, maybe something else. If that also doesn't work, then maybe something else. That's when you become wise.
Yeah.
So that's important, that it is okay to make mistakes. But once you know, then you shouldn't repeat that mistake again and again. So that's what is very, very important. And that's how you become wise.
Yeah.
That's how people learn. Even
Yeah.
if it's me, every human being they will do mistakes. They tend to do mistakes.
And they should.
They should. Yeah. I mean, it's life. You
Yeah.
can't be right always.
And is there any moment of that kind that you're comfortable sharing, which is like, oh my God, I should have listened, and then just including that in your routine?
There are
too
a
many.
lot, actually. See, my dad, obviously, he keeps telling me do this or do that, and sometimes I'm like, you don't know. I mean, you don't know. I do it like this, and I get injured. Or, there's an example where I was playing and it was a Friday evening. I've done heavy weights, and my dad said Saturday morning I had fun matches. My dad said, take it easy. Your body is in heavy load. Take it easy.
Yeah.
Just don't push yourself so much, because you're not able to move. In that, in that fun mode, you just move and something might happen. Just take it easy. I was like, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. And I went and I got injured.
Yourself.
So
Ouch.
these are few things. And then dad is like, I kept telling you. So that's when you know. So now I know, okay, when my body is in load, I have to just maintain it, not overly push my body, because it might get injured.
Yeah.
That's how you become wise, and you keep listening to your whoever it is, your physio, your trainer, because they're experienced. I mean, in my case, my parents are experienced enough to tell me and guide me in a right way, because my father knows, and he's come so far. So
no, the wisdom of your parents is very clear. The way as how you've turned out is a life demonstration of the wisdom that they have raised you with as well. And where you are now you have traveled the world. You've seen this whole journey in a particular cycle, and you're looking for more. You're seeking more now. It's not just as an athlete or just as a woman. You're seeing the environment around you where maybe 10 years ago it was more difficult to have this infrastructure. Now there was more difficulties for women to enter, young women with limited resources to enter, young men also.
Yeah.
But it becomes even more tougher on the gender state. How is this environment in the world of sports changed for the positive, and what would you feel needs to change?
I think now a lot has changed compared to like back then, because when I started off, it was good enough. I must be very frank. It was not like I had to. Obviously, I've come from a very middle class family, and nobody's born with a golden spoon. Everybody had to work hard and come up in their own lives. But I feel now there's really, really good infrastructure, good academies, good stadiums, and I think a little more improvement on the coaching side. The coaches, I think the education is very, very important, because when you're training a kid or a child who is coming up, they need to have the right basics, from the grassroots level. If you train them in such a way that, when they come to a certain level, they're complete. If the basics are good, if the base is strong, then automatically they'll go up. So that's when I feel that the coaching system needs to be strong enough to guide the children in a right way, and a correct way. Because, sometimes one coach might say something else, another coach might say something else. So that's when I say that, when you do the transition from a player to coach, or from a normal person to coach, or if you want to become a coach, you need to have the proper knowledge
and training themselves.
exactly,
right?
because every child is different, every kid is different. You might be good at in your physical skills, like for example your stamina is really good. The other person might be mentally weak and not mentally strong enough, so you have to train him in such a way, because every individual is different. You can't train everyone in the same way. Maybe your skill is very good and you're physically weak, maybe that person's is vice versa, different way. You can't do the same thing with both of them. So that a coach need to understand. I think that needs to be improved a little more is what I feel. But again, apart from that, I think there's a lot of support to the youngsters, especially in terms of we've been having these schemes where Kelo India, it's a very good encouragement for the youngsters who can come up and do much more better and show the world that yes, they can also do really, really well.
Yes.
And I think apart from that, the organizations like Olympic Gold Quest or Go Sports, I think they're giving a very good encouragement, not only to the athletes, but also the para-athletes.
Yes.
Sometimes I feel so inspired by them, because I think it's my personal thing where, when you see them playing and, even though they are like that, they are able to play.
Yeah.
And we feel that we don't have anything.
Yeah.
But look at them. They are like putting their heart out there and playing. I mean, if they can do it, why can't we? It's very, very inspiring at times to see them work so hard.
Yeah.
And we complain to small things. We don't have this, we don't have that. I'm not able to do this. I'm not able to do that.
Yeah.
But when you look at them, it's very inspiring, man.
Yes.
Like, even though they're like that, they're very, very strong from their heart, and they're like, we will do
and
it.
that grit and that expression on their faces.
I keep playing every day here. I keep seeing them. We train at the same time, but different courts. It's so amazing. Sometimes your mood is not good, but when you see them, you're like,
my God,
it keeps pushing you. It
Seriously.
keeps pushing you to your limits. Like, yes, you can also do it.
Yes.
So I think organizations like these encourage youngsters from a very let's say from under 10. I've been with OGQ since the time I was like, since 13, 14.
Yes.
Yeah, when I was 13 or 14 years old.
Yes.
I mean, till now.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of support is very important for every kid, because there is a lot of talent. Just that encouragement and support is very important.
Yes.
Because a lot of people, maybe financially not so good.
Yes.
Some people are financially very good. They can do everything. But some have a lot of talent.
Yeah.
But they're not able to push themselves because parents are not financially, they're not strong enough.
They're not strong enough. They don't know better. They don't know where to go. There's a lot of confusion.
Exactly.
On even spotting the talent is a struggle, because many a times parents are so busy getting food on the table that they don't think anything of it. Unless it's an employable skill. And unfortunately, sports is not looked at as an employable skill over an average, like an Indian parent or parents across the world as well. So yeah, it is actually, as you said, because they need to know. They need to have the right guidance. Yes.
That's very important, because, it's very, for a couple of them, it's very immediate. Okay, what is now? They don't think what is next.
Correct.
So that needs to be, changed, especially even for the parents. Kids are going out there, they're putting their kids in academies. So for the parents out there, they shouldn't feel that, okay, there is an academy where they are top players. They can't think that, okay, we also will, join our kid in that and our kid also will become a superstar. It's not going to work like that.
Yes.
Couple of people might get success at a very early age. Couple of people might take time.
And couple of people may not succeed.
Yes. But also the parents need to understand. You need to know when to push your child. When your child is not able to or not, they'll have to see. Like,
so you see that unreasonable behavior also, where parents think they have superstars and the children are kind of under that pressure.
So that's what I'm saying. So parents, I mean, obviously they don't tell their child, but they think to themselves that, there is an academy, they are good players and good coaches, they have become superstars. I'll also put my kid in that. But you put your kid, okay, but you have to also follow that kid, see what he's doing.
Yeah.
Is he going in a right way?
Yeah.
Are the practice sessions going on really well?
Yeah. And how is the child responding to it?
Yeah, exactly. If the child is not giving his 100%, then there's no point.
No point.
No point pushing that that kid, right?
Yes,
So if he's very passionate, if he wants to be like, yes, I want to do well. See, I'm not saying as soon as you join, you have to become a champion.
Can't happen.
Nobody
Yeah.
can. It takes a lot of years
Yeah.
to become a champion. It takes a lot of years to come to a level. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy for anyone. So whatever it is, when you join or when you start playing, you have to give your 100%. That discipline, that hard work is very, very important.
Yes.
That commitment towards the sport,
yes,
is very important.
So if one moment we keep even sports aside, what we see is young children either with extremely ambitious parents or with parents who have a different opinion about whether they're raising girls or raising boys. We also see that at the entry point we have highly excited, very robust children who want to do their best, and then you see the children kind of starting to wean off, to trickle out of whatever their passions are because of the pressures around them. And in your observation now, has it gotten any better or has it gotten worse?
No, I think it's gotten better, especially as you said that the girls and boys, like we don't want our girls to go out there and play.
That has changed.
The sport. Yeah, I think it has changed completely. I mean, every parent is putting their their girls into sport now, any kind of sport, not just badminton, but I would say any kind of sport.
Of sport.
Earlier, I think that little bit change is there now. I can obviously see that.
But a lot of that has also happened because of role modeling.
Yeah.
What you have accomplished, Sena, Sania Mirza, Deepa Karmakar, all in different, Mary Com, in these different sports, the force with which you all have kind of owned your space, being able to stand there, win, and then gracefully lose. That has played a very important part in how children have started viewing their, parents have started viewing their children and the potential.
Yeah, I think, sorry to cut you, but I think that's very important. I think here, even the parents' role is very important because, just parents want to join their kid in badminton, but the kid is not interested.
Yeah,
I think that doesn't work. At the same time, sometimes there's a lot of pressure from outside that, we want your kid to actually play, do it because you've done so much. I think even that pressure is not good enough for a kid because he's like a small kid who's going there and going to have fun.
Yeah.
You can't pressurize him and say that, you have to do this.
Yeah.
I think that doesn't really work.
When you look at your life and the role that badminton plays, with athletes, there's always there is a finite end to a certain kind of career. When you look at a life, and you are a much more fuller person, you have a zest for life that is fairly obvious. Right? What is your view on what all do you feel you want to do? Like, how greedy are you for life in the best possible way?
I'm very greedy. I want to win a lot more medals. I'm very greedy that way.
Oh, amen.
But I think on a very serious note, I mean, from now until the next phase of my life, I think I will definitely play for the next couple of years, and I'm very, I think, super excited to actually go out there, play there, and I know that I am very much capable of what I can do. And
I didn't mean to say when are you retiring or anything of that sort.
In general, I'm saying in general, like when you ask what is the next phase of life, I'm just saying that yes, I know that I can do it. There is a lot more in me to do it.
Yes, absolutely.
So why to just stop? Because my body's fine. I'm able to push myself.
No, and I saw you training this morning. Your body's not fine. It's amazing and you're playing amazing. And there's no doubt there are many, many medals ahead. There is no doubt about that at all. What is today, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, there were different struggles of wanting to make it big. And, there's an excitement as well as a certain amount of pressure of.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of pressure, especially after the 16. A lot of responsibilities, a lot of pressure, a lot of expectations.
Yes. And what is it today? Like today, where do you find yourself in terms of what kind of pressure is it now?
I mean,
or what kind of joy is this now?
See, there is joy because I'm playing this sport which I'm passionate about, and I love playing badminton. So that itself is a joy.
Yeah.
And when it comes to in terms of pressure, responsibilities, it is going to be there. I'm not going to deny that, and I think it is fine. It will be there. Taking a lot more pressure, that will create a problem. Nothing else. But yeah, there is pressure. There is there are responsibilities where whenever I go for a tournament, people expect me to win every single tournament. Sometimes it might not be possible. See, from their perspective, people's perspective, they might keep thinking that, we wanted to win every tournament, but sometimes your body doesn't support you. Sometimes they might be bad days. Sometimes there might be good days. So, I mean, people keep saying what they have to, but you know how your body is, you know how it is, when you go onto the court, how you feel, how you play. Are you feeling all right? Are you not? There are a lot of mixed emotions.
Absolutely.
So when you win, everybody's like, wow. But when you lose at times, people take you there. Sometimes, when you win, you're like there on cloud nine. When you lose, you're like there. So to have that middle ground, you rather not think about what people are saying. You just go with the flow. You just think what you have to do.
What a beautiful hack is that? How does one prototype you and make many, many more of such confident people? Because there's so many incredible things that you've just kind of said. That I've been just trying to think of, oh my God, which part of this do we even talk about? It's like, but this innate confidence that is there in a spot where, you are always under scrutiny. And I know I'm going on and on about it, but the fact is that it's hard enough winning without the spotlight. And it is a different kick to have the world applause. But there is a certain method to how one even approaches, and also doesn't allow it to
affect you or get to you.
Yeah, the praise is
that's true.
The praise is incredible, right? Like there's so many people completely besotted, and especially on the day when you get that medal.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, yeah, the support that I've got is just amazing. Like, when I won my first medal, obviously, like, I had a grand reception, like everybody from the airport until my house, there were people standing outside. You can't even believe, like, you're like, wow, like.
You didn't expect it?
I did not know how it was. Every person, like almost the whole, from the airport until my house, it takes 45 minutes. I could see each and everyone holding my banners. And that is when you realize that, wow, like
you have such an impact.
Goosebumps, like seriously.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, like I have done so much for the country. That country is giving back to me. Like, look at this support. And you won't believe me, there have been different things. Not only this, somebody had the baby and they named it as on my name. I mean, it's not a joke, right?
No, it's very touching.
To have that itself is like, wow, like you can't even imagine.
Yeah.
And I think apart from that, pressure-wise, it is there. And I will not say, okay, no, but I think now how I see it is, it's fine. You can't say no to it, or you don't want the pressure. But at the same time, when you win a tournament, I think people taking you as an inspiration itself is a very big thing. When I was young, I used to think, oh, you know what, I want to be there at, in this spotlight. But when you're there, you have to enjoy it. And that's what I do. Like, see, when you're really young, you would be like, you know what, I also want to become like that. I want to be in the limelight. I want to be at the top. And I think when you're at the top, you have to enjoy it.
Yes.
You have to cherish it. That is it. And I think apart from that, coming to that level is different, but maintaining that level is another task.
Yes.
It's much more harder.
Yeah.
Because, you come to that level, okay, fine, you just come.
Yeah.
But I think being there itself is a very, very tough thing.
Yes, because you're there with the best.
Actually, like everyone wants to aim at you. Everyone wants to be like, how am I going to beat her? What needs to be done? How can I beat her? What should I do?
Do you read all the online advice you get before you go for a big match?
No, I don't.
The whole world is telling you how to play.
You win, you lose, people are going to say about it.
Before you go, everybody's telling you how you should play. As you're playing, people are saying how you should play.
As I said, you can't read people's mind. Every person has different view. Everyone will have thousand things to say.
You find it funny or you find it dramatic? You find funny or okay, or it's like, no, don't show it to me.
I mean, sometimes it is funny because, especially I don't read it obviously before the match, but let's say you
After that you read.
Let's say you lose a match. You just generally go through and then, obviously it comes in the media, right?
Yeah.
And then sometimes, there are comments down. So sometimes you feel bad. I feel bad about it, like what they say, what they do. But again, I'm like, I don't have to listen to their advice. And again, I'm like, there are two ways to it. I don't have to listen to their advice. And again, I'm like, they're also wanting you to win. They're also upset in
That's
their
very
point
generous
of view. See, that's very true, right?
No, yeah, it is true.
You might think that why didn't she play like that? But behind that, they are like, we want her to win.
Yeah.
We want her to win, boss. Like, that's when we are like going aggressive. Why are you doing this? I understand from where they're coming. So I don't respond to anyone. I'm like, okay, think how you want to think, but that's how I played today, and I can't do anything about it.
That is a very generous and actually a very beautiful way of approaching pressure and keeping it like at a safe distance. So you let it impact you only as much as you want to.
Yeah. Sometimes, you can't deny that. You're so upset that you're like, what am I doing? What am I playing? Why am I playing like this? But I think after a day or two, you come back to normal and you're like, it's okay. It is okay to lose. You have to train harder to come back. Everybody is working hard.
Yes.
It's not just you. Everybody wants to be at the top. Everybody wants to win.
So in the corporate world, we observed certain patterns. We observed that women first enter and they're satisfied at entry points. If they have ambitions, by then motherhood happens to them or family happens to them. Then there is also this absolute guilt of pursuing their own ambitions while managing a family. So there's no winning that game, right? Because you're always not somewhere, because you've chosen to be in some place. And therefore, there is a constant negotiation with one's own ambition and one's own career. When I look at someone like you, you have made choices and you have stood proud with them.
Yeah.
And I'm sure your journey is full of places you haven't been because you had to be where you chose.
Yeah.
And what you feel about, those choices and those decisions. And it's not easy for a young girl to make those choices, a family to make those choices for her. And for you to see this entire ecosystem move for you and think, oh my God, what if I don't win? Will I let all of them down? There is an entire journey of that negotiation. It is a real thing even now for many. How do you see that from your vantage point?
Yeah, I think definitely I had made choices. I did what I want to do. And of course, sometimes my parents had to do some choices where for me that, obviously there were a lot where I had to sacrifice a lot more. I couldn't attend my sister's own wedding.
Really?
Yeah. So there were a lot of choices that way, but I choose another way because I wanted to.
Yeah.
And I don't regret it. See, if you don't choose that way and if you go according to what people say, I think you will, later on, after a couple of years, when you look back, you tend to regret it.
Yes.
So I don't want that regret to happen. When you want to do something or when you choose to do something, you have to do it.
Yeah.
And I choose to do this and I am doing this.
Yes.
Now, when I look back a couple of years back, I don't regret anything that I should have done that or I could have done that.
Yeah.
It's the same even in the corporate world because, when a woman wants to do something, so what? I mean, okay, she got married, she's into a motherhood. It doesn't matter. I think she has to do what she wants to do. Sometimes there might be situations where your family members might be like, oh, you know what, you can't do this or you can't do that. But I feel that in my opinion, when you choose to do something or when you fix that in your mind, anyone, not only a woman or a man, every human being, if they fix something in their mind, they will do it.
Yeah.
You take it as anything. Like, for example, when you're young, you want to do something and your mom says, okay, don't do it, but you want to do. At the end of the day, you make sure you do it, no matter what, right? So it's the same.
Yes.
It's the same. It's just that you choose smartly and you're like, yes, I can do it.
How do you manage the guilt that comes with it?
See, everything has ups and downs. Everything has guilt. Everything has happiness, sadness. It is life. Life is all about ups and downs. So there are pros and cons. What you choose, there are pros and cons if you don't choose that as well.
Yeah.
So you can't be like, okay, I choose this now. Everything should be nice and happy, and everything should go smoothly. It doesn't work. Every way, whichever way you choose, there are going to be pros and cons. It is how you take it. Because see, for example, I choose this way. I want to play badminton, and I choose this way. I choose this path.
Yeah.
There are injuries. There are losses. Right? There are times where you cry and you be like, why is this happening to me? There are days like you can't push yourself. There are days where nothing is going right. There are days where you're really upset, depressed. You're like, everything is over. What else should I do? So there will be days, but you have to overcome all of them.
Yeah.
And that's when at the end of the day, when you achieve something, you're like, wow, I've gone through so much, but I could do what I could do.
Yeah. That is,
I feel even
so
in the
true.
corporate world, I think every woman should feel that.
Yeah.
And everyone should feel that, they shouldn't stop
because of
their
the noise
dreams
around
for something else.
Yeah. And when in your early stages of training and career and planning for this game, mentorship and, knowing who to, again, choose to take advice from, because advice comes from everywhere. You had a support system at home that was also helping you make those choices. But was there also times when, you make a choice to be listening to someone and realize, oh, not working for me, and then have to shift it, and then the entire ecosystem, you've been fighting for something, and now you're having to change your mind again? I'm drawing bigger parallels, because again, you for all of us is the epitome of certain kinds of choices and sticking to them. There are many women who don't have that supportive environment and who are making hard decisions, and who are having to navigate and take bad advice and good advice and learn the hard way.
Yeah, there were days where, sometimes if this doesn't work, I have to go with plan B. There were days, even in the matches, I would say, when I go with a plan A, that doesn't work. You have to change accordingly. So I think, and also one more thing is, I had so many coaches in my life.
Yeah.
So every coach has a different style of play. For example, my last coach was like very different compared to this coach. So, it's a process. You learn and unlearn.
Yeah.
So it is a process. And I think it shouldn't be as a burden thinking that, I just learned this now. Again, I should, change the whole thing. I think that's how life is, even in, let's say, not in sports, but also outside sports, if you have to do that, I think it is a process. You learn and unlearn. I mean, it is a process, and you have to accept it. Sometimes if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You shouldn't keep on pushing when it doesn't work.
Yeah.
You just go into a deep hole where there's nothing.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like, if, for example, your parents say something and it works for you. When your coach says something, it doesn't work. I'm talking about the broader picture.
Yeah.
There might be situations, there might be times where this does happen. It is okay. I mean, some things work, some things don't work. You have to accept the fact that it's fine. And there were days where, for me, when my coach said something, it didn't work. For a few days, I was like, why is it not working? Why is it not working? Then I went and told him that, okay, you know what? It's not working. Then you think about plan B. Then you keep thinking. That's how you keep learning. That's how you get ideas.
Yeah.
That's how you change your mindset. That's how you believe in yourself.
Yeah.
So everything is interlinked to one another.
Yes. Yes. And in this whole journey, allyship also becomes very important. Like mentorship is the people who are wiser than you, who train more, who are talented, and who are choosing to also pass their wisdom on to you. Allyship is a little more than that. It could be your competition. It could be people who may be on the other side of the net.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you love them and they love you, and they're positive influences in your life, and suddenly you find them on the other side.
Yeah.
But it is also important to have that little club of people who are going through a certain journey together, is what we've seen again. Because a lot of women do fly solo on many things. They feel very alone. They feel that they and again, in many boardrooms there are 10 men and 1 woman. There is a loneliness, and that time allyship becomes important. Like having a man who is a friend who is supportive, a woman who is a friend supportive. For you, who is that circle for you?
Right now, my husband.
That is sweet.
But I think it's a very interesting thing, when a woman feels that, okay, there are 10, 15 men and you're the only woman in that room. I feel that, why don't you turn it other way? Why don't you feel that I'm the only woman? Why don't you take it positively?
Yeah.
It's a very, it's a different way of thinking, I would say.
Yeah.
But I think for me, as you said, there are a lot of friends, as per se. Let's say, for example, my opponents like Ratchanok or, Ukuhara or Taizoing, but at some point you have to play against each other. So I think that sportsmanship should be there. But at the same time, outside court, you're completely friends. But on court, I think you just can't show mercy thinking that, oh, you know what, she's my friend.
Yeah.
Sport is sport.
Yes.
You need to have that aggressiveness. You need to have that thing where, because you have worked for this.
Yeah.
You just can't give it away simply thinking that, oh, you know what, she's my friend. Maybe she's not thinking the same way as you do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It is good to have friendships in sport because sport grows and friendships in sport are very important. You need to have friends. I'm not saying no. But at the same time, you also need to understand when you're playing against her, she's your enemy. You can't do anything else apart from that.
Absolutely. But even in life, it's the same thing. You need friends more
in
than
life,
you need enemy.
Yeah, it is the same thing. I think you need to have someone, whoever it may be. It might be your it can be your parents, your best friend, your sister, your husband. You need to have that someone where you can share everything and trust that person. I think trust is a very important factor here.
Yeah.
Because, if once you lose that trust, then it's really, really hard to gain.
Yes.
Because that's what I've learned. And sometimes, you're so naive that you trust so much, like so easily. And when they break your trust, it's very, very, very hard.
And then how do you cope? Because then the life means that you have to trust again.
Yes.
But you've also had a severe setback. And how does one then get themselves together and trust instincts again? Because instincts are everything.
Yes. It is hard. It is definitely hard. That's my personal opinion, because I've had it where, when I was young, I used to trust so easily. And then there have been a lot of people who broke my trust, and it was really, really hard to trust them back. But I think in a way I'm lucky because I trust my sister and I share everything with her. And obviously she's 7 years older than me. So that's when I said you need to have someone who can guide you.
Yeah.
Where you can share everything. Some people might not be able to share everything to your parents.
Yes.
Or, to your coach or to your mentor. But that way I had my sister all along. And of course now obviously I have my husband. So I think it's very important to have that particular person in your life. And I think, as you said, a lot of women want to be like a solo who wants to just travel that way. But I think, I'm sure even they might be having some or the other. It's just the perspective, how you think. Let them have a boy as a friend or someone. It doesn't matter. As far as you know within yourself what you're doing, that's important. You don't want the whole world to know what you're doing, right or wrong. It's important that what you're doing is the right thing.
You have had a very healthy and touchwood, a very supportive ecosystem. When you in the current the way the world is working right now, if there is advice that you have to give to parents on raising their boys and raising their girls to be the person that they need to be in future, what would some of the things look like?
I think the most important thing is, more than the parents telling their kids, I think it's important for the parents to understand that when they're joining their kid or when they want their kid to get into something, parent support is very important. Then comes the ecosystem, because parents is something where they have raised you, they know what you are, what you do. Sometimes you might think that, they don't know anything, they're not allowing me to do this, but later on in life, you will understand that, yes, because of their brought up, you've become and you've come so far. I think that's very, very important. And I think if that happens and if they guide you in a right way, I think apart from that, when it comes to ecosystem, yes, I am lucky enough ecosystem that way. I'm lucky enough to have the best people around me who I trust.
Yeah.
I think people that way, obviously, as I said, parents need to support their kids in whatever they do. And obviously, the kid might in the future have different people in their life.
Yeah.
Like, let's say, in sports, like a coach, like the physio, trainer. It is important because you must know that when someone wants to train you or when someone is helping you out, you need to understand that they are putting in complete efforts
Yeah.
to get you to a level.
Yeah.
Right? When they want to do that, I think you shouldn't doubt them even
Yes.
a little bit, because what will they get? What will they get? Actually, because, when you're supporting someone, when you're supporting an athlete, you want them to get them to a level rather than you telling them, okay, don't do this. It's a loss for them itself.
Yeah.
So they need to understand that.
Right. And if there's one thing you wish for the sports world or any world, for the girls that are coming up now, the confidence with which they are coming, the way they're competing, if there's one thing you wish you saw more of, what would it be?
Well, firstly, a lot of people taking me as an inspiration and wanting to play sport and taking sport as a profession itself is a big thing. I want them to understand that, getting success is and coming to a level is okay, but maintaining that level is much more harder, and they need to understand that.
Yeah.
To be there, one should have that self belief, and one should have that hope that they can do it.
Yeah.
I would want to tell them that, even though you fall down 8 times, 9 times, if you have that grit, if you have that passion, the 10th time you will get there, you will come up. I mean, couple of people might get success at a very early age, but couple of people might take a lot of time. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. You're not successful.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, if you have that passion, commitment, grit and discipline in life, that will itself get you to a level and that will make you successful.
Thank you. Such beautiful thoughts. Thank you, Sindhu. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing your actually beautiful way of thinking. And
one
I hope
last thing I just wanted to add. See, a lot of people might say you've been very successful and not everybody can be like you. You will speak now how many ever things you want to. You will say so many quotes, but I think the reality is that when I started when I was 8 years old, I started playing badminton. I understand there are a lot of ups and downs. It's not an easy journey. It's a really, really hard journey. And as I mentioned, nobody is born with a golden spoon. Everybody comes from a middle class family. But it's very important where I had hope, I had belief. So I could come till here. And if I had that belief and if I could come, and I'm sure a lot of girls and boys can do it. And there is a lot of potential.
Yeah.
There is a lot of potential. It's just a matter of time.
And discipline.
Yes. That should always be there. Yeah. That should always be there. So, yes.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been lovely, lovely talking to you. And good luck for every tournament. We're going to be cheering for you.
Thanks a lot.
All the time with everybody in India. So, good luck to you.
It's lovely speaking to you. Yeah. I could tell whatever I could. Sport has given me so much. It's time for me to give back to the sport.
Absolutely.
So, yes.
More power to you, Sindhu. Thank you. Thank you.